Hello. A few days ago I ordered this pop toss from online and was able to get it in a couple of days, and so it came very quickly. That was good. My original intent was to take this out to the field, pull it out of the box, go ahead and give it a try and show what it was going to be like. Turns out that there's some assembly required, and when I got out to the field I found that there was really no clean assembly instructions, so I couldn't really tell how to put it together. And so I decided to bring it back here to my workbench and try to work on it here. I've already taken it out of the box and laid out everything so that there's a plan of how to put this together. Well, I found that there were no real assembly instructions, so what I had to do is I went to Pop Toss and I went ahead and just pulled up the picture of what it's supposed to look like, and I think I can figure it out from here. What you get is the base, which has some pretty heavy lead pieces in the back, and it's angled in this way. On the base, these two little pieces here, they have foam on it. There's rubber bands on there, and so originally I thought that they were packing material, but they're not. It looks like they're supposed to be on there because there's actually glue inside of here holding that foam on. So leave the rubber bands on, leave the foam on there because they're glued in. Don't try to peel those things off. There was a bag of screws, and in the bag of screws they say that you need 2 screws in order to put this thing together. And they gave you an extra screw and they gave you an extra exhaust valve, which is very, very nice of them to do that. What I did notice is with the nuts for the screws, they gave me 1 nylon capture nut and they gave me 2 of non-nylon capture nuts. So I assume when I'm looking at the picture here, I can see that these are both these nylon capture nuts. So I assume that those are the ones that we really should have received. I don't have an extra nylon capture nut, but I do have one of these nuts that have the little star lock washer on there, so I'm going to use that until I can actually go out to the store and get a nylon capture nut to replace that with. I have a nut driver, an 11/32 nut driver, and a Phillips screwdriver in order to put this together. Now again, there were no instructions and the pictures on the brochure are not very clear, so I did go to the website and blow up the picture that is on the website, and I think it's a lot clearer the way this is supposed to go. Looking at the tube itself, you have the adjustment valve on one side and the exhaust valve on the other side. Based on the pictures, don't take these foam pieces off, leave those on there. I'm not going to take those off. I'm just going to take this as it is. There's this white foam stuff up here. It seems to be glued in right in here. So I am not going to peel that off. I'm assuming that that's going to be there. Even though it's not really readily viewable on the picture, I'm going to go ahead and leave that in and assume that's supposed to be there. So assembly is pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is that we're going to put this onto the base this way, where the valve is going to be, the timer valve is going to be on the high side. And when we push that all the way through, get this lined up here. Try not to pinch this on this side. So here I just push that all the way through, and then all these nuts, screws and nuts do is there's 2 holes on either side. So I'm just going to slide those through, and it actually really acts more like a pin to hold those pieces in place. So I'm going to press down hard here to try to get this in place. Take my Phillips screwdriver, I'd get this one started on this side. And then I'm going to get one started on this side. Again, press down to kind of push that foam down into place. We're going to slide that through. And we're going to slide this in and screw this on. Now we just go ahead and tighten those up. Make sure that they're all tight and in place. This one Since it's a nylon capture, I'm going to have to put that nut driver on there. Of course, the nut driver is too big to fit, so I'll use just these pliers to hold it in place. And I'll tighten this down. So it doesn't really fit tight on there. It seems to have some kind of give. I assume that's supposed to be that way in order to just try to kind of absorb some of the shock, but it doesn't fit tight and locks down into place. It kind of floats on those blue foam pieces that was on the base here. So, but that should be it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this out to the field, and we'll go ahead and give it a try. I believe it's pretty simple once you get a picture and can figure out what it is, but it would have been nice if there was some type of assembly instructions inside the bag. They gave you lots of different paperworks. When you go out to the field for the first time, you should make sure you're bringing 2 buckets. They strongly recommend that you use 2 buckets in front of the pop toss, so that any ball gets hit towards it, it doesn't hit the pop toss because it'll break it. So they definitely recommend that multiple times. They also recommend that on these papers that you don't push down on this really hard and fast. Go ahead and give it a slow, even motion. Push down on it. And also don't run the pop toss without a ball that's on there. I assume that because it needs to absorb some of that energy and you don't want to crack this top part. So hopefully this video is helpful. If you bought one of these things, we'll be posting a video a little bit later to see how well it works. Thanks.